Hello, my name is Mia Ferrer, and the topic that I'm going to talk about is topic A, or elasticity of demand. What is it defined as? The definition is how responsive consumers are to changes in the price of a good or service, which is indicated over here by this graph. You can kind of think of it like a rubber band. The stretchier the rubber band, the more responsive consumers will be to changes in price. So, how do we calculate this? It's calculated by percentages, so the percent change in quantity over the percent change in price, which expresses the percentage that quantity demanded will fall with every 1% that price increases. So usually when we calculate percentages, we use the formula here on the left, but this formula is inconsistent. It differs depending on what data you start with. So if it's a price increase or if it's a price decrease, the answer will be different. So that doesn't help us with what we're trying to understand here. So instead we use midpoint percentage change where um, we do new minus old divided by the midpoint times 100. This gives us consistent results regardless of if the price is increasing or decreasing. So um, here are some graphs that show this calculation. The more horizontal the demand curve is, the more elastic it is. So unit elasticity is moderate elasticity, and it is equal to 1. Elastic demand is when it is greater than 1, and perfectly elastic demand is a perfectly horizontal demand curve, and that is said to be equal to infinity. So here are some determinants of price elasticity of demand, some things that make that demand curve flatter. Availability of close substitutes. The more substitutes, the more elastic demand. Luxury or necessity. The more luxurious a good, the more elastic demand. Definitions of the market. The narrower the market, the more elastic because there are more available substitutes for a narrower market. Share of an income spent on a good, the more expensive an item. Um, the more impactful the change in price will be, the more likely consumers are to respond. And then time horizon, more elastic in the long run. So the more time that consumers have to adjust to a price change, the more elastic that good or service is going to become. An example in my own life would be energy drinks, which have a broad availability of close substitutes as depicted by this image. There are a lot of different brands that can replace other brands. So I used to drink a lot of Alanis, for example. They're like $4 per one can now. So I switched to Red Bulls, which are like $7 for every three cans. If the price of all energy drinks went up, I could just opt out of buying them because they're non essential and because the market is narrow. And I could just drink coffee or tea instead. As a consumer, I can respond quite readily to the changes in the price of this market, meaning that the demand is elastic.